everyone, and welcome to the Small Business Heroes Show, where we talk about everything to help your small business grow and prosper. I'm your host, Scott Trevethan, and today I'm talking to Alison Shaw from Shaw Mediation Australia. She's a legal mediator who has established a national mediation firm which is the go-to place for dispute resolution by consultant mediators, all with a legal background for all types of disputes, commercial and personal, big and small. She is a national accredited mediator under NMAS and a former foundation equity partner at BBS Lawyers and Mediators. Alison has over 19 years of experience in the legal profession with a double degree in law and arts, specialist accreditation as a family law specialist with the Law Society of South Australia. She also has an MBA and I'm sure a bunch of other things. Welcome to the show, Ali.
Thank you, Scott.
Now, I've just given everyone a brief overview of yourself. Could you take a moment to expand upon what it is that you do?
Well, as a mediator, I help businesses and people and organisations to move on with their life and to tick off their list any problem or dispute that they've had and to resolve that amicably, cost efficiently and quickly using mediation.
So do you find, is mediation a replacement for the legal process for the courts and juries and judges?
Mediation is a process that is an alternative to litigation. So I liken litigation to a conveyor belt where you hop on the conveyor belt and at the end of the conveyor belt is a very good judge that's able to make a decision about a person's case and solve their problem. The conveyor belt unfortunately, though, only travels in one direction and at one speed, and it can't be diverted, and you can't speed it up, and you can't hop over in front of anybody else in front of you in the conveyor belt. You just have to wait your turn to get to trial and for a final hearing. Instead, mediation is a flexible process which isn't just a talk fest. It does have a beginning and a middle and an end, and it helps people to be able to identify their concerns and to generate options and explore those options and negotiate between themselves to actually resolve their dispute themselves. And the beauty of mediation is that people have the control of the process. The mediator is just there to facilitate, as an independent person, the negotiations.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful thing, especially to free up all of the cost and time associated with going to court. So what's overall your vision for Shaw Mediation?
My vision is to provide dispute resolution without courts. So ultimately, it might be bigger than just mediation, but for the moment, I'm looking to provide mediation services around the country by nationally accredited mediators. So we become the go-to place for people to refer people to or to go to if they have a bit of a problem or they need their legal problems resolved.
So what sort of people become mediators that would work through Shaw Mediation? Is it specialist lawyers or other type of people?
We are, and one of our points of difference is that we are all legally trained and all have a legal background, as well as being nationally accredited in mediation. And the reason that is our point of difference is because while we're not giving legal advice to the people in the mediation, we're able to use our transferable legal skills and problem-solving skills and questioning skills to be able to get to the nub of the problem quickly and efficiently for people to be able to then move forward.
Does the decisions that come out or the agreements that are made, are they legally binding on the parties that make those decisions or agreements?
If the parties wish for the outcome to be legally formalised, then that's done by the lawyers for the parties. The outcome that we record for the parties at the end of the joint session of mediation is a memorandum of understanding, a heads of agreement, which reflects what has been agreed at the outcome, as the outcome for that mediation session. However, not all problems or disputes need to be legally formalised, and for those matters they don't need to go to that added expense, but where it does have to be legally formalised, it's more appropriate for the lawyers to do that for the parties than for us, so that we don't jeopardise our impartiality and independence in the case.
So what sort of matters could our small business audience, get heard by a mediator? Is it, is it everything from family law through to...
Yes, it is, absolutely, Scott. It's the full spectrum of disputes, from personal disputes, including the family law disputes, family dispute resolution, as well as personal injury, insurance claims, wills and estates type matters where there are disputes between siblings over unequal distributions of an estate, all the way through to corporate and commercial matters for small SMEs and big business. And the types of disputes for businesses most commonly are landlord-tenant type disputes. And in fact, I was involved in one of those just last week where there was a commercial lease in place and the tenant had come to the end of the lease and there was a dispute about the make good provision in the lease and whether or not the exiting tenant had complied with those make good provisions. There are other types of disputes that businesses find themselves involved with. Sometimes and quite commonly they're workplace type disputes between employees or staff members, or between a line manager and a subordinate. And to try and deal with that issue quickly, independently from the business, and to prevent it from having that ripple effect amongst other staff members, which can cause disharmony. Mediation and mediators are often brought in to resolve those disputes, to preserve the relationships in the workplace and to continue a harmonious work environment for everybody's sake, and so it doesn't affect the productivity of the workplace.
That just sounds beautiful, and a great way for people to cost effectively solve some of their legal issues or issues that could potentially spiral out of control and threaten the very existence of the business. So
yes, certainly can be daunting to find ways to resolve disputes in the best possible way.
So can a small business owner seek out a mediator directly, or do they need to go through a solicitor who then seeks out the mediation process, or how does that become a connection?
We accept referrals directly from consumers, and we also accept referrals from lawyers and barristers and accountants. So either way is appropriate. We do encourage and ask participants with a problem if they've had some legal advice, because we do think that it is important for people to understand what their best case and worst case situation is if their case were to go to court, so that they can make an informed decision at the mediation.
Which just sounds wonderful. What's the best way for our small business audience to contact you to find out more about Shaw Mediation, or if they've got a dispute that they think maybe they need to get mediated? What's the best way for them to reach out and contact you?
Well, we have a website which is www.shawmediation.com.au. Shaw Mediation is one word.
And I'll put that underneath this video as well.
And thank you very much. And we also have a 1300 number, which is a national number, and will take you to our mediation coordinator, who will be able to answer any questions and initial inquiries. And one of the points of difference with Shaw Mediation is that only one party or person needs to contact us, and then we will contact the other stakeholders and parties involved on your behalf and invite them to participate in the mediation and to facilitate the whole arrangements for the meetings.
Well, that just sounds fantastic, Ali. Thank you so much for sharing that with our Small Business Heroes audience today. Please, if you want to contact Alison, she's given you those contact details, and I'll put them underneath this video itself as well. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about Small Business Heroes, please go over to our Facebook page and you can join that group. You can also go to the Scott Partners Facebook page and give us a like, and we'll be repeating these videos here on that as well. Or look us up at www.scottpartners.com.au. I'm Scott Trevethan. Thank you very much for listening to Small Business Heroes, and Alison Shaw, thank you so very much.
Thanks, Scott.